Don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the Anthony Joshua interview on IFL TV with Coogan Cassius, I believe is his name. But if you haven't checked it out, the Coogan asked him something interesting about Tyson Fury saying that he'd be willing to train him, and Joshua actually is like, yeah, I'd be up for that. We're not going to fight anytime soon anyway. So I think he said we can bring the cameras in or wherever. So I think if they brought the cameras in, though, it wouldn't be so much of a learning session. It'd be more like a real fight, kind of like Creed and Rocky at the end of Rocky 3, how, they didn't have supposedly the cameras there, but we could see it. But, they had the fight behind closed doors to see who was really better. And Rocky admitted in Creed 1 that Creed won that fight. So who would win the fight behind closed doors between Joshua and Fury? I think the same person that would win it in front of people. I think right now that'd be Tyson Fury. Before I said Joshua, but I have to see what he's going to do with his training situation. It all depends on that and where his mind's at. Unlike most people out there, I didn't really like how he sounded in this last interview. Like I always said, I knew he had a street side to him, the way he talks to his opponents and sticks out his tongue and was real gritty and rough. And the Dillian White fight, the Brazil fight, the Klitschko fight, I forget what fight he was in where he knocked someone down. The ref grabbed him to take him back to his corner and he pulled his arm off like, get off me. And he even mentioned in this interview something about he might have to throw the referee down or something. He's going back to the streets, but with someone seasoned like Usyk, is it going to really matter? You can't really get into this guy's head. It's going to have to come down to your technique. And like Stacey McKinley said, you have to get close to a lefty. You have to get close to a southpaw and rough him up early. When you get close to him, he's no longer a southpaw. He's a regular fighter. Don't worry about keeping your left foot on the outside of his right foot. Get close and rough him up. And you're going to have some energy too, because I don't think Usyk has ever been, I don't know, was he down in the amateurs or sparring? I don't know. I've never seen him even hurt. But you definitely don't want to just go into another jab fest with him, because I don't see that working. And, I said in my other video talking about that you watched, growing up, you didn't look up to anybody like movie actors. You didn't look up to athletes. You just looked at people like Larry Hoover and Big Meech. Usyk probably doesn't even know who those people are. He probably had to look them up. Like, Larry Hoover, Big Meech? Oh, okay. But, watching those guys doesn't necessarily translate to you being tough. That's just you watching them. That's like a fan watching somebody box and think they can get in the ring. That's just you watching. But I knew Joshua had a street side, but I wasn't really cool on how he was doing it, because I thought, what's the point of you grabbing the mic and then, trying to intimidate Usyk with that? His English isn't very good, so he probably didn't even know what you were saying. But best way to beat Usyk is just off technique. You're not going to intimidate the guy, especially when he already beat you. You're not going to scare him. And I didn't think Joshua, even because of the weight loss, I didn't think he looked that much bigger than Usyk, even though he weighed around, 240 and Usyk 221. He didn't look that much, I'm talking about muscle-wise, and he only had a 3-inch height advantage. And people always think because you have a height advantage, you have a reach advantage, which isn't, a lot of times it isn't true, because they measure your wingspan to get your back in there. HBO started measuring armpit to fist. That's a more accurate way to measure reach. Like, I believe Vladimir Klitschko had a 25-inch reach from armpit to fist. That's what I have, and he's taller than me. So you go into a fight thinking, I can't, jab or do something from a distance because he's taller, he's got the longer reach. Not necessarily true. Like Ray Mercer, I believe, had the longer reach when he fought Lennox Lewis, and Lewis is 6'5", Ray Mercer 6'1" or 6'2", but Ray Mercer was hitting him with the jab all night because he had the longer reach, or just as long. So don't measure the back in it. Just measure armpit to fist. You get the more accurate measurements. But what you guys think of AJ's interview? I just thought it was kind of weird and bizarre. You know, it's one thing. He just seemed kind of irritated, like he was overdoing it to me. It's like he was trying to seem hard, and it just kept going and going. And I know he's irritated with things people are saying. He's tired of losing, but if you're tired of losing, you got to get somebody in camp who knows what they're doing. You got to get in a James Bashir. You got to get in a Tommy Brooks. You got to get in a Stacy McKinley. Those are the closest trainers we have to Emmanuel Stewart. The closest trainers we have to Emmanuel Stewart. Now, I know James Bashir worked with Emmanuel with McCrock. Stacy McKinley was very, very close to Emmanuel Stewart, worked with him. So there you have it. Those are your three choices to me. You're free to choose who you want, of course. You know, I'm just a YouTube guy talking. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe I do. But anyway, Joshua, you know, he's still one of the best. You can't say he's not one of the best. It's just you could tell he's trying to find himself right now. So once he finds himself, gets the right trainer in there, you know, we got a fight going. We got something to look forward to. But if he keeps cracking, I can almost guarantee Usyk is going to win, and maybe by stoppage this time. Anyway, this is N.W.J. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe. Let's make sure this page takes off like a car with the brakes off.